Hey, this is Gabriel Stein with Pure Web Services, here to review yet another unsuspecting business's website. If you want your website reviewed by the pros, maybe off camera, email us at help@purewebservices.com and we'd be delighted to help. Now let's take a look. So today we have jjbodyshop.com. My team sent me a link to this. I haven't actually seen this yet. This will definitely be the first time. I've been very careful to not even open it, not even preview it. And all I've done here is just prep a couple tabs. One is the who is information, which is basically just the registration information on the domain, and then builtwith.com, which is kind of like an X-ray for a website. Allows me to see some of kind of the technical details. But both of those websites don't. I haven't even looked at the results. I just had them preloaded. So let's jump right into it. Here's the tab. I'm going to hit load, and we're waiting. Okay, so off the bat, I mean, not excruciating load times, but it's not difficult to achieve really good load times if the site is very simple, or it doesn't contain a lot of advanced features. So I'm not necessarily super impressed by the load time because what it is loading is not that complex or difficult to load. So good load time, but again, what has been loaded is not also that good. So right off the bat, we're dealing with just a standard PNG logo instead of SVG. That's what most people do, or actually it's GIF in this case. So usually it's a lot of data for not a lot of quality. We like to use SVGs because they scale a lot better, a lot higher quality typically. They have a simple menu structure. That's good. I like that. It tells me kind of right away what I'm expecting to see, and I'll open up these other tabs. They do have a good headline kind of right at the top, so that's good. Hopefully, if they've been in business since 1975, they've also been helping people since 1975. It doesn't necessarily tell me a lot. Saying that your mission statement is to help people, I hope that's true for everybody. So I'm not exactly convinced that this is very unique. It's not really telling me anything. I get it. They're a body shop. I see pictures of cars, but not a lot beyond that. So it's difficult to tell why this is the body shop I should go to versus any other body shop. They have some good pictures here and a slider. Statistically speaking, we don't like to use sliders because it loads a lot of content right off the bat, which is kind of poor in terms of efficiency and loading. When it comes to the actual viewing, sliders don't accomplish a lot because most people will scroll down or miss a lot of that. In this case, there's no additional content on the homepage, so I'm really just kind of stuck waiting for pictures to load with no clickable elements. I can't like accelerate this. I can't see more pictures. Again, the only thing I can do here is just wait for more pictures, which I probably am not going to do, or I'm going to contact them using their contact info at the bottom, which I'll give them that. It's not always that common, but it does have contact information, which is good, and it's in text, so I can actually click it and call it and so forth. And you would think that's kind of the minimum and not have to like copy and paste it out of a picture manually or letter by letter, but that is actually pretty frequent. So that's good that they have raw text for their contact info, and I can use GPS and so forth to get there. Again, another GIF logo. Not the best, but that's the way it goes a lot of the time. Privacy notice, probably because it was a template site that got shoved. They do have a backlink to Facebook page and Yelp. That's good. Probably not going to do much. You're going to get a little cross ranking and things. It's not bad, but otherwise, one thing is I'm not sure why these other about our work and contact pages are still loading. Maybe just because some weird tracking elements that aren't integrated. When you pull up the page, it looks like they do load. So that's interesting. I gather that J&J stands for probably two names, John or Jack or something. However, then it doesn't. I'm not sure where the name comes from because apparently it's Nick and Dennis. So it's a little confusing. So I guess, okay, they took it over anyway. So that's good. They have some information about them and so forth. And that's good. Can hear a little bit more. Still not sure about where the name came from, but maybe they explain that. I don't like how this tab on the here hides information basically as an accordion. It hides information. It's a little unnecessary. I'd rather just place the information for the viewer to be able to scroll. I'm sure this does not work well on mobile, but we'll get into that shortly. I'd like to be able to just click and have it go to the section, or just scroll up or down and then have a return to top button, something like that. Services, it's a little tough. I'd like to see this again. I'd like to see this on a separate page. This is one of the most important pages. I'd rather see services up here. In fact, I'd like to see a teasing of this list on the home page, because that's what most people are going to be looking for, is can they do blank? And this is an attempt to answer that. So I'd want to see that on the home page. This our work page here, only 3 projects. I mean, okay, you know, I get it. You don't want to have 1,000 projects, but maybe 10 or so would be good. Just to share a little bit more about, can they actually do what I want? This looks like they were uploaded probably around the time the site was built, and that's probably been about it. It looked like good projects though, so that's cool. Some good before and afters, so that's nice. But a little bit more recent portfolio items would probably be good. Regarding contact page, yeah, can't ask for that much. That's okay. Looks like they're not. Whoever built the site built it before Google implemented a requirement that when you embed a Google map, you actually use their development API key or their SDK key. So basically, you need to register a specific license basically to embed a map on a website. And so in this case, it looks like the developer has not done that, and so that's why it says for development purposes only. So one of those polish elements that you just have to clean up later when you actually launch the site. Loose details. So all in all, they have a contact, leave a message form. I usually fill these out and just see if they'll get back to me. Typically, these don't go anywhere. They either air out or break, or are not current to whatever a current email is. Like this contact@jjbodyshop.com. Usually this is not really going there. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but most people usually never fill these out because there's just not a lot of process confidence that if I fill it out, I'm going to hear back. And so typically people are going to go straight to a phone number, even though their request may be able to be fit into this. So if you're spending a lot of time with secretary and staff fielding help calls or support calls, make sure that your forms are really trustworthy and up to date, that people can trust that process confidence. So all in all, let's see maybe what it's built with. Looks like just PHP hosted on Media Temple. It says that it has a SSL. It does not look like it does. So they're probably losing some ranking from that, and missing out on some little bit of love there from Google. Looks like just Media Temple hosting an SSL and PHP. Nothing too fancy, nothing that great. Probably doesn't have most advanced tracking features or diagnostic features. So it's pretty much just what you see is what you get. Doesn't look too fancy. The whois information looks like pretty much hidden, which is cool. It depends on what you're trying to do, but usually hiding your contact info and so forth is good. So I'm sure GoDaddy is raking them over the coals for that privacy, at least whatever, $10 a year, $50 a year, whatever they charge depending on the site. And then it looks like just name servers over to Media Temple. So not bad. I'm sure somebody owns this GoDaddy. Looks like it was registered in 2010, and it's updated 2016 when somebody probably bought 3 years or something like that. So that's fine. That's cool. Somebody's keeping track of it, hopefully. So that's good. But that's a big concern right here, is that this expires on. This is actually not far away in January, basically less than 2 months away. I definitely like to see this a little farther out. That's cutting it a little close, because by the time we get through the holidays here in December, and by the time that we somebody gets on that with a credit card update, this could get lost. So that would definitely not be good. Definitely losing a domain like that is probably one of the worst case scenarios. So overall, it is what it is. This was probably built in in mid 2010s, somewhere in there, probably about when that DNS was updated. That wouldn't surprise me. Or for that domain registration, wouldn't surprise me at all. Or it was built in 2010. Either way, whenever that last time, one of those two times, 2016 would surprise me. This seems a little bit older than that. So probably more like 2010, which is about what vintage this looks like. It looks like somebody made this out of a template, and not a lot of customization here. I'd like to see obviously a lot more content on the homepage, but not necessarily in terms of pictures. Just more pictures slows down load time, but doesn't necessarily increase your conversion rates. I'd love to see some more unique aspects of the business. It looks like there is some story elements here under this about page, as well as services, history, so forth. This information, I'd love to see a little bit of this on the homepage. It looks like this is where the name came from and so forth, so that's cool. But ultimately, I would be amazed if more than 30% of visitors make it into this section here, or 50% of visitors, which means even if we say it's 50% of visitors, you're still losing about half your visitors to just not clicking down enough into these pages. Let's take a look for sure, though, into what does Inspect Element have to say. And let's go to mobile. That's one of the things I'm interested in here. And we'll, for the benefit of the doubt, we'll reload the page just to see if it does anything. And yeah, unfortunately, this is what it's going to look like on a mobile phone. It's not going to reload to a different site. There's no other options. It looks like this is just what it's going to look like. So obviously this is pretty unreadable. I'd have to be zooming in. But yeah, it's not going to be usable on a mobile device. So again, they're going to get docked by Google because rightfully so, the content's not really readable or accessible on a mobile device unless you're zooming in and out a bunch. It looks like these scrolling sessions do work. So thankfully that means it's not impossible access, just definitely not very desirable, and just not very conversion focused. I'd say it's another big missing piece here is there's really no call to action. There's Yelp, there's Facebook, but other than this contact info at the bottom, there's basically no way for me to actually get in touch, or no requirement. This get an estimate button is not really focused. Says it's a preliminary estimate. Continue. Again, not going to work for a mobile device. I highly doubt that we're going to be able to get any kind of upload off of a mobile phone, but that would be interesting to see. And then this form is not going to be usable again off a mobile device, maybe a desktop, but that's again, I'm also submitting information over without SSL, so I'm going to get this warning from Google. So all in all, just missing SSL, missing an updated form that's responsive. Even though this is a good call to action, I'd love to see a little bit more focus around this. Get an estimate. It seems very easy to miss, like very easy. It could just brush right past it. I'd love to see a little bit of bold, maybe some color used around this. It looks like in their logo, they use this red color. I'd love to see that integrated into this button instead of this very, very easy to miss gray. This is almost impossible to really call somebody to action, particularly if you're loading it on a mobile device. So all in all, it is what it is. I don't fault anybody for this. This doesn't seem like negligent or incompetence or somebody who just wasn't doing their job. It seems like this was done how it should have been done or was done at the time, and no harm, no foul. It's just gotten old. It just needs a little bit of TLC. It needs some updating. A lot of the mistakes and things weren't even technically mistakes at the time. If this was a modern site, then that would be more of a problem. But for when it was built, can't fault anybody that much. But over the years, maybe almost a decade now, is my guess. We're looking at some issues with SSL, and mobile phones are now a thing. And obviously, there's been quite a shift now in how websites are consumed, and this one just hasn't followed that trend or that trajectory. So I think that this is a great candidate for just taking existing content, improving it, maybe making some tweaks, some new photography, and then being able to relaunch it as a modern website and increase some conversions towards getting estimates. So all in all, I think it looks like an awesome business. It has some good content available. It just definitely needs to be restructured and focused into how a website is consumed in the modern era. I hope you found this interesting. Maybe you learned a couple things about web services and even were entertained. If you have any questions about websites or digital marketing, don't hesitate to reach out at help@purewebservices.com or call us at 1-800-883-7185. Talk to you soon.